Hi everyone, please take note of the following disclaimer. Please note that this video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. It does not constitute financial advice. We are not registered financial advisors. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about what many of us are going through in the PII community, including myself, of course, MSTE, right? MSTE being down a lot. We're down on it a lot. What do you do? And I decided to make this video because I came across this post in our Facebook group, our PII Facebook group by Karen. Obviously a very well-written, thoughtful post from Karen. Let's go through it together. So for those who have been investing for a while, I could really use your advice. Earlier on in my investing journey, I made a big mistake and put most of my money into a single ETF, MSTE. Since then, I've been trying to learn more and correct my approach so I could build a more stable long-term portfolio. Seems like she's already learning some lessons from this. Right now, my position looks like this. Average price 15.36, was around 18 before, so bought at the top like many of us. Right, position size about 56% of my TFSA. So this is a pretty big chunk of her TFSA here. Total return obviously down significantly here. So at this point, I'm trying to decide the smartest move going forward. If you were in my position, would you, 1, stop adding to MST, 2, continue averaging down to lower the cost basis? My goal now is to invest long-term and more responsibly. So I'm trying to learn from this mistake rather than repeat it. Any advice or perspective from more experienced investors would be greatly appreciated. Side note, I started buying other ETFs as well to help diversify and stabilize my portfolio going forward. A really well thought out post. I think Karen seems to be a pretty intelligent young lady here who's maybe a bit newer and is learning, right? The investing journey never ends in terms of what you're learning, what you're going to learn, right? Investing your own money is not that hard, but sometimes it's not that easy as well, right? So my personal response to her was the following here, and this post got a lot of the reason why I'm making this video is this post got quite a bit of engagement. I see a lot of thumbs up on my response, and I think a lot of us, maybe if you're watching, are going through kind of the same thing Karen is going through, right? Especially in your TFSA, could be a bit more daunting because let's say you sell at a loss, you can't do anything with the losses, you want to try to protect your TFSA room. But my response was this: the thing I would not do is sell. You can average down by reinvesting more while also building up other core diversified positions in the TFSA, right? You could do both. You could average it down slowly while building other positions as well. It might be a long process, but be patient. Do it methodically without emotion. You look young, so time is on your side. Once you get through this, and you will be able to handle anything going forward. Why do I say that? Because MSTR, if you could handle MST or MSTR, it's the most volatile single stock ever, the most violent stock. After that, everything will be a cakewalk for you, like an S&P or NASDAQ or more diversified funds. And there's other opinions as well as here, right? Myself, I would take 50 to 75% of the dividends to average down, and then the rest go into other stocks, right? There's all kinds of different opinions here. Here's another one: set it on drip and wait it out. That's what I'm doing with my small position, right? Because technically, if you drip, you're at these levels, you are averaging down automatically with the drip. So whether it's taking the dripping it completely, taking half of it, or no longer touching it and maybe start building other positions. There's no right or wrong. I wish, sometimes in investing, most of the time in investing, there is no right or wrong. So I know many of you are going through it. So I figure I make a video of, if you are, just a couple of reminders. And I'd like to thank Moomoo for sponsoring this video. If you're Canadian and looking for a new do-it-yourself broker, or you're curious to try another broker, consider Moomoo. As usual, they have a lot of sign-up and welcome bonuses for new users, like cash bonuses for deposits, cash bonuses for if you're transferring from another broker. You also have 6% interest on cash just sitting on your account, in your account, up to $10,000. And in case you didn't know, they have 0 exchange rate fees, everyone. So if you want to convert, from Canadian to US, because I don't know, maybe you want to try your own options, writing your own options if you're brave. They also have a very advanced options trading platform. So check it out. And in case you didn't know, they also opened a physical store in downtown Toronto if you want to go pass by. So yeah, check out all the details here. Click on the link. You got to see the PII/Moomoo at the top of the page. I'll put the link at the top of the video description and in a comment below so you could check it out. Points here to think about when you're in this type of situation with the single stock, whether it's MST or MSTR or something else, right? There could be other things. Personally, I went through it myself a long time ago with an oil and gas stock, even before PII existed. And I'll never forget, it's Crescent Point Energy, and it was going down and down and down, but I held firm. I stayed patient. I averaged it down, kept averaging it down, and eventually, finally, it rebounded when oil prices rebounded. I think this was back in 2015 or something, like 11 years ago. So I know how frustrating it could be on a single stock here when it crashes and it goes down such a significant amount in a short period of time. But let's think about this together, everyone. First of all, what are the actual 3 things you could actually do if you're in a losing position or you have a position at a loss? Well, there's 3 things you could do. Let's not forget here. You could sell it at a loss, you could leave it alone, or you could average it down as much as you can and wait for the rebound and then adjust later, right? Those are really the only 3 things you could do. So in Karen's case, because it's in a TFSA, right, another thing you need to consider is which account is it in? So that's the first thing you need to consider. Is it in a registered account like a TFSA or RSP, or is it in your cash account? So this is why I try to tell people, or a good idea to think about, if you're going to take a more riskier position, whether it's MST or another single stock or a Tesla or something else, whatever it is, it's always best to do it in a cash account, because if something goes wrong, you could rip the Band-Aid off and you could use those losses, offset that capital loss with capital gain. And if you're a PII covered call investor, you hold mostly covered call ETFs, you're getting capital gains income, a portion of it, a big chunk of it. There'll be ROC as well, but ROC is just delayed capital gains. Anyway, if you put it under the same umbrella, you'll be able to eventually offset that loss. So that's always a big advantage. The TFSA RSP, unfortunately, you can't do anything with the loss. You lose the room, so it's a bit more of a disaster there. So that's the first thing you need to consider. Which account is it in? Another thing to consider is, yes, it looks pretty scary, right? Minus whatever it is, whatever you're down on. I'm personally down about 100 if you include the income over 100,000 on MSTE. But another thing to keep in mind is take a breath. It's not realized, it's not real. It's a paper loss. This is something very important. It's literally nothing has happened yet. You didn't lose anything yet because you didn't sell anything. It seems like you did. It feels like you did. It feels horrible, but it's just emotional damage, psychological damage. It's not real damage. So take a breath. Remember, that's unrealized. That's another very important point. The third point is, and this is where Karen is kind of learning the lesson or thinking about it herself, which I think she's already kind of going through it. And this is just a natural progression of being an investor. Why did you invest in this in the first place? Do you even know what MSTR does? Do you believe in the company? Do you know what they do? Right? Who are the people behind this company? Did you look at any of the interviews with the CEO or chairman, right? Saylor or I forgot his name, Mr. Fong, the CEO. If you invest in a single company, you need to have conviction in that company. You need to know what's going on there. If you don't have any conviction in any single stock or any single company, you just buy diversified funds. You get the exposure indirectly, right? You get like an HHIS where there's a bit of strategy. You get a NASDAQ 100, you get an HDIV, an HYLD, right? If you have no conviction. If you do have conviction, in something, you got to understand what the company does. You can't just invest in something because it has very, very high yield. A lot of people, that's what I feel really could be a yield trap, right? A yield trap in PII. They see a 40, 50% yield, a very, very high yield, but that's the yield is just a byproduct of the stock's volatility. That's why MSTR, MSTE has such high yield. Why a Tesla single stock has high yield. It's because the stock is very volatile, right? It has, you can't expect, oh, I'm just going to make this 40, 50% yield forever. Your fate is really tied to the stock. The stock could go down 50%. Whereas an S&P 500 is not going to go down 50% during a crash. It'll go down maybe 10, 15%, maybe a bit more. But you could have, higher risk, higher reward, right? It's a single point of failure. It's one stock. So going forward, another thing to keep in mind is always, and MSTR is the only single stock that I invest in, but I have a special conviction. So why did you invest in this in the first place? And zoom out, take a breather. Remember another important point. Remember what you are. A long-term investor. If you really zoom out and look at the history of MSTR, you see that the crash is not even 6 months, right? It's not like it's been down for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's only set back in September, not even less than 6 months ago. It was the all-time high, if you will. So take a breather, zoom out. Remember that you're a long-term investor here. You're not a speculator, you're not a trader, and that it's a paper loss right now. So what can you do? Well, listen, I personally, this is not financial advice. No one can make the decision for you. But again, it really depends which account it is. But I would definitely not sell this at a loss. How much do you drip it? Do you average it down? Only you could answer that. But what I could tell you for sure is time is your friend. Okay, even if there was a lot of distribution reductions, you're still getting a distribution every month. Every month that goes by, you're technically getting more of your capital back. You're getting your income, right? You're increasing your return by getting that income. So time is your friend. Remember that. You got to think long term. And personally, you guys know that I'm averaging down aggressively every week. But here's some general pieces of advice, if you will, when it comes to PII portfolio construction. I think Karen already alluded to some of these lessons. You should always build your lesson number 1. Always build your portfolio from the bottom up. Strong foundation first. You don't start with a single stock or an MSTE, something more higher risk, more volatile, more fancy. You always build a strong foundational portfolio first, right? You need to, if you're going to add a single stock, you need to have conviction in it, right? You need to know what that company does. And if you're taking a higher risk with a single stock, which you are in investing, put it in a cash account. That could be a good idea as well. And then a lot of people ask me, well, how much should I put in it? Well, figure out a max percentage that you're comfortable with. When you're building your PII portfolio, go in terms of percentages. So for me, for example, MSTR, MST percentage, 10% initially. Now it's a little bit higher than that at 12. But basically my overall Bitcoin exposure, I had deemed to go 25%. It's a number that I feel I'm comfortable with. Maybe some people would feel more comfortable with a 5% or a 1%. So choose your conviction, and it's very easy to choose. Just do the worst case scenario. If this thing goes to 0, will I be okay? Right? If MSTR goes to 0, which it could only go to 0 if Bitcoin goes to 0. That's my opinion. But do it in terms of percentages. Talk it over with your spouse, your partner, significant other. Say, what are we comfortable with? Yeah, this might be our golden ticket here, but what if something goes wrong? Choose a percentage, put more of it in your cash account. And remember also that you're not alone. Leverage the PII community. We got our private Facebook group, which you could join. It's very hard to join. You got to answer the questions. The link is in the videos, in my video description. The socials, you could become an Inner Circle member and join our Discord community. That's the second level membership, Inner Circle Plus. You have access to the Discord channel. There's about 150 people there, constantly going back and forth. I don't have much time to go there, but leverage the community just like Karen did, I think, is also another good idea. And, I hope these points were, something to think about. Don't be discouraged. This is a pretty common mistake in the PII world, where you look at the yield and you kind of get blinded by it. You think, I'm always going to get this enormous amount of yield. Single stock, just like in growth investing, guys, single stock investing is the highest risk, right? You have a single point of failure. So reminders, build your portfolio from the bottom up. Strong foundation first. If you want to take a position in a higher risk, choose a certain percentage that makes sense for you. If you're going to invest in a single stock, understand the stock, understand what they do. And another tip is maybe put it in a cash account. So if you're asking me, a lot of people keep asking me, you have such a high conviction in MST, MSTR, you're averaging it down. Why do you have such a big conviction? Well, I actually put quite a bit of time understanding the company, what they're doing. So let me know if you want me to do a video on my personal take on what MSTR really is and my understanding of it. Let me know if that video is interesting for you and I could give you my take. And funny enough, it's really split share funds, my knowledge on split share funds, that helped me understand MSTR and what they're doing. So I'm very grateful to having that knowledge. But hopefully the video was informative for you. Give me a thumbs up. I would really like it. I know many of you are in the same position like me, right? We're down strongly on something and you're wondering what to do. Well, hopefully some of these points hit home with you. And remember, last thing, it's not a realized loss. So just remember that. Think like investor. Time is always your friend. And how much you decide to average down, if you do decide to average down, one thing you could just do is leave it alone. You'll keep collecting the income even though it gets reduced. You'll still collect the income. You could turn it on drip, auto dollar cost average it down, and then with your other sources or other contributions, you build stronger foundational, you allocate to other funds. And like in Karen's case, right, eventually every month that goes by, if she's just, for example, just dripping the MSTE, but simultaneously or in parallel building up other positions like the 4 horsemen, every month that goes by, that percentage of MSTE is going to go down and down and down, and it's going to be a bit less and less and less. And hopefully Bitcoin and MSTR and MST starts rising again. So it's going to be, time is your friend as an investor. It's a privilege we have, guys. Being an investor is a privilege versus a trader. We could hold on and wait. So always think long-term, think like an investor, be smart about things. There is no right or wrong. And hopefully this video was informative for you. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay passive, stay honorable. See you next time.